You know, one of the best tools available to a lot of business people, whether you're self-employed or whether you're in the professional world or whatever, is a product called LinkedIn. Now, if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, that is a site that allows you to network with people in similar companies, industries. You kind of you can make new connections in there. It's a very, very cool tool. You can have a online resume, if you will. You can be recommended by other LinkedIn members, and conversely, you can recommend others. So it's a very, very powerful networking tool for professionals. Now, that being said, there are some do's and don'ts with LinkedIn. And so I thought I would go over this. It's I come across some excellent advice from a C.G. Lynch at CIO.com. So the first thing about LinkedIn, if you're going to create an account there, you're going to have what's called a profile. And that's kind of your a little bio, your recommendations. Also, it's going to make it have a photo of you. If you're going to put a photo of yourself on the web, put a nice professional photo of yourself. I mean, I know it's obvious, but it might even be worth having a professional photographer taking your photograph, because that's opening yourself up to the world. So you want to look your best when you're doing your profile with LinkedIn. So, if you don't get a professional photographer, at least you want to keep your background really neutral, use good lighting, and maybe even learn a little bit about how to use Photoshop, eliminate wrinkles, anything that might be unflattering. I think that's a pretty good piece of advice. 2, your summary. When you read a newspaper, you check out articles on a website. Many good stories don't get read without a good headline, as such, it's recommended that you be very concise and engaging and specific in the summary of your LinkedIn page. You really want to express your personal brand in the LinkedIn summary. You want to show who you are, what you do, and why you're unique. Number 3, fill out your bio. One of the finer things about LinkedIn, at least from a recruiting standpoint, is that it's not only encouraging honesty in your resume, but it essentially requires it. Since your profile is viewed by your bosses, your colleagues, and your customers, you can't pump up your resume. Be honest and accurate in your bio. A couple other quick tips for your profile and bio. Get the LinkedIn URL you want. Most profile URLs will have a slash and then your name at the end of them. Names can be comments, so try to get yours first. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is public. Go right to the account settings and check. And if you want to tap all the capabilities of LinkedIn and be able to have people search for you and examine your career experience, you need a public profile. Okay, tip number 4, your LinkedIn connection list. There are 2 main factions who argue the merits of how one chooses connections on LinkedIn. One is LinkedIn itself, as the CIO highlighted in a past article, and they say they designed a service with that philosophy in mind. Connections, they argue, are a reflection of you professionally. If you don't know who they are, it can reflect poorly on you when people pursue your connection list. On the other end of the spectrum are the LinkedIn open networkers known as Lions, L-I-O-N-S. A Lion generally will add people as a connection, whether they know them or not. Many Lions build huge connection lists in the thousands and see value from doing this. Dixon recommends taking a somewhat middle-of-the-ground approach between the 2 camps and work up a strategy you think that makes sense for you and your profession. But it will always be a murky issue. Dixon says it's fine to decline the connection, but if such a case arises, it's in good form to explain why you chose not to do that. Now, the 5th tip, and I think this is probably one of the most important, if not the most important tip, is recommending people and getting recommendations. That feature is really very powerful and a great way to show, how well your work is being endorsed by others, and conversely doing the same. So it really gives you this 360-degree strategy that shows how you can help people and the people you serve. And you want your managers, your clients, you want peers to recommend you on LinkedIn, and you're going to take some real good advantage of that. So that's some really good tips on how to use LinkedIn. Millions of people are using LinkedIn now. It is different than Facebook. It is social networking, but it tends to gravitate. It's definitely in the professional business world kind of thing. I actually know a person who needed a job and used his connections at LinkedIn to find a job. So it's a very, very powerful tool.